Hello, dear students. Good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to take up the next part of the poem Ode to Beauty, that is part number 2, composed by John Keats. A day before yesterday, we discussed about John Keats and Ode to Beauty. Today, we will continue this poem. Let's take up the next stanza. Some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees, old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear hills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season, the mid forest break. Here, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Dear students, John Keats discusses in detail the concept of beauty, that beauty is a treasure of joy, is an endless source of joy that gives us immense pleasure. Some object of beauty, some natural object of beauty gives you et- eternal or permanent joy. Anything that is beautiful, it moves away, it wipes out the pall from our dark spirits. The pall means the covering, the black covering, uh, we can say a layer of disappointment that is moved away, taken away, consumed by some shape of beauty from our dark spirits, from our heart. Means, in simple words, we can say that if you are dejected, disappointed, if you are sad or melancholic, you will soon be refreshed, rejoiced just by seeing a shape of beauty, just by looking at some object of beautiful thing in nature, such as he gives examples of those shapes of beauty which contain permanent fountain of joy, fountain of pleasure or ecstasy. The sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. The poet here opines that life is full of trials and tribulations, and we often find ourselves in the midst of gloom, in the midst of melancholy or sadness, disappointment, dejection. Every day, human beings face gloomy days packed with unhealthy spite and darkness. However, in spite of all, a thing of beauty helps remove the dark cloud that burdens our souls, that covers our souls. In other words, beautiful things help us to remove frustration, disappointment, and despondency from our mind and soul and give us solace and comfort. The poet here says that we, human beings, each day create an ornate or decorated band, materially or imaginary, made of all the lovely things we see. This band keeps us bound to the despondent earth as we would otherwise be hopeless. Means we enrich our account of some decorated band, account of beauties, shapes of beauties. And that keeps us bound to this earth. Otherwise, we would have become disappointed, hopeless, or hapless. Further, the poet gives a list of beautiful objects of nature, the objects being the sun, the moon, the trees, old or young. They are countless. These are the heavenly bodies. They provide us, especially the trees, cool shelter to sleep, the daffodil flowers encased in green leaves, the streams and small rivers. Rills means the small rivers, streams of pure water that flow through a shady and hidden passage, which they make themselves with plants flowing through forests and the bushes that bear fragrant flowers. Against the hot environment at the land, these streams and rivers provide us coolness and pleasure. These simple and even commonplace things lift the human spirit, filling it with joy and delight. In a symbolic way, the beautiful objects help to remove and lessen, reduce the effect of the miseries, sufferings, and sadness from our life. Here, the simple sheep are human beings. For simple sheep is it stands for human beings. The poet sympathizes with the innocence of human beings. Keats sees the beauty in innocent humans seeking solace in nature, and Mother Nature, in its own way, sprouts a shady abode of relief and consolation for the human beings. Next stanza. Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring up unto us from the heavens brink. In the previous stanza, the poet simply tells us some of the beautiful things on earth. After all, beauty lies in the eyes of beholder. Everyone can highlight something beautiful in anything. The examples cited by the poet are such as the sun, the moon, the trees, old and new, daffodils, flowers, rivers and streams, etc. In this list, he adds musk rose blooms, even fairy tales or heroic legends, the speculators, the sepulchres erected to honor them also. In addition to above mentioned objects of nature, there are wonderful tales of our legendary heroes who lived and died heroically, which inspire us with their matchless beauty. The poet sees beauty in the death of martyrs and legends. The mighty dead are those martyrs who have died bravely for a cause. We honor them by erecting magnificent, grand sepulchres in which beauty is seen. These beautiful things are metaphorically an endless source of nectar that pours down to us from heaven, bringing eternal joy for the soul's grandeur, for the soul's solace and splendor. They are like an elixir of life, a never diminishing source of pleasure, never ending, endless source of pleasure, joy, and delight, an endless fountain of joy that seems to be a precious gift from heaven. If one looks around, there are innumerable beautiful things to notice. They seem to flow immortally as a fountain from the gods above to help the pitiable human beings to cope with the harshness of life. Dear students, in everything that belongs to nature, we have a glimpse of beauty. In the historical monuments, in the memory, the monuments erected in the memory of martyrs, they also give us beauty. They also give us solace. They comfort us. We feel proud of them. We honor them. We regard them. We salute their sacrifice. And we feel happy. Let's take up the stanza again. Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. That those great heroes, the legendary heroes who acted heroically, they are also a source of joy for us. They pour onto our souls, endless mirth, endless happiness, endless pleasure from heaven above. Actually, dear students, a beautiful thing is a source of eternal joy. Its attractiveness grows with the passage of time, and its impact never fades away. It is as pleasant as a cool, quiet bower or sound sleep with sweet dreams. The objects of beauty are countless. So, at last, I would like to give you a piece of advice that in your busy schedule, I know very well that every human being is much engaged in their work. But even then, we must spare some moments to observe, to watch from close quarters the beauties of nature, the beautiful objects of nature, the craft, the skill used in shaping these objects is really marvelous and remarkable. That is amazing. We can't imagine the power of that hidden might, the power of nature. Nature is all powerful, and God, the superpower, is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. We human beings are helpless. We are we are cipher. We are nothing in front of that superpower. We can't do anything. We should not be proud of ourselves. Rather, we should worship these objects of nature. The beauties of nature, the objects of nature, they give us real joy, real pleasure. So I would like to suggest you that spare some moments of your life, spare some moments of your day to observe these beautiful objects of nature from close quarters, and you will be full of delight. You'll be filled with real joy, real pleasure, the pleasure that nature gives us, that is spontaneous, that is natural, that is pure and original, that is not artificial, that is permanent, and that is the secret of healthy life and healthy mind. So, if you wish to stay fit and healthy, physically and mentally, we should observe these objects of nature. We should observe nature either in the morning or in the evening and try to study them, try to analyze them, but how they are created and how they prove to be the sources of beauty. That's all for today, and have a nice day. Thank you.